Hey all, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns. So it's time for another edition of Let's Talk. This is actually going to be the final Let's Talk on the election. After this, I'm going to be changing my schedule a bit on YouTube. So before we get to the topic at hand, I'm just going to go over that quickly. On Sundays, I'm going to continue doing a scripted gaming video. On Mondays, I will continue doing adventures in IT and hospitality, telling funny and interesting stories from my days in IT and hospitality industry. Tuesdays will still be a React video. It'll be a Let's Talk video, but it won't be about Mark Carney. Lord forbid it won't be about Mark Carney. Please don't let it be about Mark Carney. It'll be about topical issues that I find interesting or want to speak about. An example of an upcoming episode will be, I'm not sure when the date is, but arthritis month is coming up. I have ankylosing spondylitis. It is a severe form, but a form of arthritis in my spinal cord. That is the disability that I've mentioned before. So I will be doing a video on that in a future Let's Talk episode. So that's what'll be replacing the election politics. Wednesdays will continue to be happy day. Thursdays will continue to be survey time because you all may not watch it, but I have a blast making that stupid little fluff piece. And then nothing serious about it. It's just chuckles and laughs. And I don't know, I like it. And there's a billion surveys out there to do, so why not? Fridays will be another Let's Talk React video. And then Saturdays, I've started doing a weekly series called Hilarious Gaming Stories. I've been a gamer for, since the late 70s. You know, tabletop RPGs, computer gaming, that sort of stuff. So I have a ton of stories. So that's what I'm doing on the Saturdays to replace Lefty's Lying. So anyway, that will be the schedule moving forward. But for now, this will be the final election Let's Talk. Well, I shouldn't say the final one. If Poilievre wins on Monday, I'll do a Tuesday video on Let's Talk celebrating. If he doesn't win, I'm not going to be good company and I'm just going to avoid the entire topic. So anyway, we're into the final one today. And I've said it before, Carney's the gift that just keeps on giving, and he gave me the content. He got caught in another lie, and this one's a doozy. His entire election premise is based on Orange Man bad, fear Trump. I can stand up to Trump. Trump respects me. Well, the CBC of all people came out and told us that's not true. Apparently in that phone call that Trump gave Carney mad respect and, he recognized our sovereignty and there was no talk of the 51st state. Well, apparently there was talk of the 51st state. There was no respect. And Mark Carney is a pathological liar. But I've been saying that since the Liberal leadership began. Mark Carney is a pathological liar. And I'm not going to go over it all. I'm tired of going over it all. So go watch my other videos. I have detailed all of this stuff. I have given you sources, legitimate sources, CBC, CTV, Globe and Mail, National Post, BBC, Australian News, Peru, Brazil. It's endless. The guy is a pathological liar. He is corrupt. He's evil. There's just no other way to put it. He is evil. So yeah, he came out and he said, Trump respects me and we're going to work out a deal and there was no talk of the 51st state and blah, 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 blah. All lies. All lies. We now know Trump brought up the 51st state in the call, contrary to what Carney's telling everybody. So and we also know from Eurasia Group leaked documents. And those that don't know, Eurasia Group is his wife's company. She had a uppity-up position in it. Evan Solomon is an uppity-up in it. Gerald Butts is an uppity-up in it. So this is liberal. This is the Liberal Party. When you get caught in a scandal in the Liberal Party, he gets you a job in Eurasia Group. And they had a leaked document saying, and this was during the Liberal leadership, so this was before the election was even called, that their entire strategy was to use Trump to divide Canadians, play off their fears, pure fear-mongering, and then should he be elected, he was just going to give Trump everything. Just hand it over. No, there was no negotiation there. And I guess this is why Carney has never wanted to negotiate. It was never in the plan to negotiate. He was just going to give Trump everything after using Trump as the big boogeyman, fear-mongering. So, and Trump let him do it. Shame on Trump for that. Absolutely shame on Donald Trump for that, for letting him do it. But that's what Carney did, and now we know it was all a lie. It was all a lie by Carney. You know, and he's followed that leaked memo to a T. Like, anytime you hear him talk, he's talking crisis. He's talking 51st state. He's talking the big orange boogeyman. What he's not talking is policy. He's not talking about the last decade of liberal policy that have just destroyed Canada. You know, he's not talking about that, but crisis, fear, be scared. Carney has run the most negative, fear-mongering political campaign I have ever seen in my 59 years of life, just bar none. But if you look at his personality, his real personality, that's perfectly in tune for what he is. He's not a nice man. He's not an honest man. He's not an ethical man. I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again. He is evil. He is evil personified. So I really am hoping Poilievre wins because Canada needs Poilievre to win. Just simple as that. Another leaked memo earlier this week, and this was from Carney's own government agency, the Privy Council, which now Carney and the CBC are all trying to diminish as it's just a minor little government agency. It has no power, and just ignore what they're saying. Well, they came out with a report saying that if we keep going down this path of liberal policy, by 2040, we're going to be destitute. Like, there's going to be no food. We're going to be Venezuela, basically, is what we will be. They talk about dystopian. I'm just going to call it what it is. We're going to be Venezuela. That's the path the liberals are taking us down. Plain and simple. No food, food lines, government runs everything, and the government is highly corrupt. You know, and that's not something anyone should be hoping for. So if you haven't voted yet, get out and vote on Monday. Vote Conservative. Even if it's only for this one election, vote Conservative, because Canada, the existence of Canada, that's what's on stake. That's what's at play here. You know, and I've been really frustrated with the talk of Trump. Now, I've said before, and I'll repeat it again, I don't like Trump. I've never liked Trump. I didn't like Trump when he was a beloved Democrat, and he was a beloved Democrat for most of his adult life. I didn't like Trump as a C-grade celebrity, and I don't like Trump as a Republican president. But I don't do extremist politics, be it right-wing or left-wing. I'm a moderate. I don't do the extreme. And Trump is extreme now. That doesn't mean he's wrong on everything. And that's the position I've taken with Trump from day one, is I look at each issue individually and I judge him on each issue. He's right on some, he's wrong on others. Like, the tariffs are stupid. They really are. That's not going to get him what he wants. But, well, I guess it will if Mark Carney gets elected. And Mexico president, in that same memo from Eurasia Group, it point blank says the Mexican president, she has enough political clout in approval ratings that she's not negotiating with Trump. She's just handing everything to him because she can withstand the fallout politically. I don't know why everyone loves her. I really don't. She's Justin Trudeau. That's what she is. So I don't get the love affair of her, but I'm not Mexican. I don't live in Mexico. I don't vote for their elections. So that's on them. And I say the same thing for the States. I don't vote in the States elections. I would have never voted for Trump or for Harris, but I have no control over who the Americans vote for because I'm not American and I don't vote in American elections. I am Canadian and I vote in Canadian elections. And my concern is Canada. And if you are concerned about Canada, if you care about Canada, even a slight bit, you have to vote Conservative. Simple as that. But yeah, so anyway, that's really about all I have to say. I'm not going to make this long-winded or anything. There's two types of voters voting in this election. There is the uninformed voter, which is voting Liberal, and there is the informed voter, which is voting Conservative. If you don't want to be an uninformed voter, go watch my previous videos. And if for some reason you got to burr up your ass about supporting me and my videos, then go watch Moose on the Loose. Go watch Elevate. Go watch Jasmine Lane. Go watch National Telegraph. Go watch Nixon. There is a ton of legitimate, independent, but legitimate, because the mainstream media is bought. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. The CBC has $1.4 billion on the line to elect Mark Carney. The only time you hear them report anything remotely negative about Carney is when they can't get around it. And even then, they try to downplay it. CTV Global, Globe and Mail, Toronto Red Star, CP24, and all the other affiliates, they share in a $600 million taxpayer slush fund by the Liberals. So all that money goes away if the Conservatives get elected. So you're not going to hear these stories from the mainstream media unless they have no option, like this story about the phone call with Donald Trump. The CBC didn't want to run that story. They had no option. They had to. I saw something interesting today. Did you know Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, they changed the media laws in Canada? And I didn't know this. It used to be law that the media could be held responsible if they lied. Like, they can't lie. In 2019, Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney changed the law that the media is now allowed to lie to you. Why would they do that? Serious, ask yourself, why would they do that? Well, we see why. All you got to do is turn on CBC, CTV, Globe and Mail, Global. Well, nobody reads the Toronto Red Star anymore, but go read the Toronto Red Star. And you will see why they did that, because these guys are just propaganda arms for the Liberals. They're not media outlets anymore. Maybe when all that taxpayer money is no longer available to them, they will go back to being reliable media outlets, because they will have to rely on people viewing their products. They have to make their money. Like the other day, we saw the CBC and CTV absolutely lying and brutalizing the Rebel and dismissing them as independent right-wing propagandists because, and I quote, they have to get their money through subscribers and likes. Well, yeah, that's how you should be getting. That's how you used to get your money until the government bought you. That's how all media should operate. No media should be paid by the government. You know who paid media? Hitler. That's who. First thing he did when he took over Nazi Germany is he either closed down opposing media or he controlled the media. Another form of buying. So congratulations. You get your news from bought out propaganda arms. Go look at the independent reporters. Go see what they're saying. Because if you followed the independent news reporters, you would have no delusions about who Mark Carney is. It's been front and center since day one. But there has to be a will. You have to be willing to open up your mind, to not be indoctrinated, to not be partisan, and look at the whole story. And it's really as simple as that, people. So yeah, if you haven't voted on Monday, the 28th, go vote Conservative. If you're not planning on voting Conservative, don't vote. Just stay home. And anyway, that's my final election Let's Talk. If you like this video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm still trying to grow my channel. And a like, a subscribe, and a share will do me wonders, and I do appreciate it. For the people that like, subscribe, and share, don't think I don't. If you didn't like this video, you're probably a Liberal or an NDP, but whatever, leave a dislike. Always feel free to leave a comment. Don't worry, I don't swing my cane too strongly anymore if I dislike your comment. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Bye.